Today I'm going to make some homemade oatmeal cream pies. In my mixer bowl I have 2 sticks of softened unsalted butter, a half a cup of white sugar, and 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. And using the paddle attachment, I am going to cream together the butter and the sugar. And when you're creaming together your butter and your sugar, you do want to cream them for about 5 minutes. You want to make sure that it's nice and creamy and you incorporate air into it. And then I'm going to add in 2 room temperature eggs and about a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half, I guess, of vanilla. I never measure. And then in a separate bowl, I'm going to whisk together my dry ingredients, which are 1½ cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, a heaping teaspoon of cinnamon, and a pinch of salt. And then I'm going to scrape down the edges of the bowl before I start mixing in the wet and the dry together to ensure that the sugar is all incorporated. And then I'm going to slowly start mixing in the dry ingredients. And once that is just together, I'm going to then add in 3 cups of oats. And again, just mix it for a moment until everything is just combined. You don't want to overwork your cookie dough. And then I'm going to remove the paddle attachment from my mixer, and using a rubber spatula, just scrape everything off the paddle attachment there so you don't waste anything. And then I'm going to use my cookie dough scoop and portion the dough out onto a parchment lined cookie sheet. I'm going to bake these at 350 for 11 to 13 minutes. And then I'm going to put them on a rack to cool completely. And you can make your cookies bigger or smaller depending on what you want. But now let's make the buttercream. So in my bowl I have 3/4 of a cup of unsalted butter, and I'm going to whip it for 5 minutes. And then I'm going to use this cover thing for my mixer bowl because I have to add in quite a bit of powdered sugar and I don't want to wear it. And I don't want it all over my kitchen. So I'm going to add in about 1½ to 2 cups of powdered sugar, about a tablespoon of milk, and some vanilla, and then I'm going to whip it for another 3 minutes. And then I'm going to assemble the cookies with the buttercream. I'm going to use the same scoop that I used to make the cookie dough balls. I'm going to use my scoop and use 1 scoop of the buttercream, and I'm going to sandwich it in between 2 of the cookies, smash it down a little bit so it oozes out to the sides. And now you have homemade delicious oatmeal cream pies for a fraction of the price. And these are so delicious and so simple to make. I hope you give these a try. Please follow and subscribe for more easy and fun recipes for your family. Enjoy!